Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. One of our best sales speakers ever. I'm going to say the best sales speaker ever, Scott McKain. Thank you, Scott.
That was great. Fantastic.
This is Scott McKain. You know, every speaker would like to come to your meeting, but I thought I'd take you with me back to my hometown so you can see where some of the concepts I talk about originated. John Cougar Mellencamp. Know the singer? I grew up with John. We were both born in Seymour, Indiana, but because our farms were separated by a few miles, I went to school in the even smaller Crothersville, Indiana. Population 1,500, never changes size. Every time a baby's born, some man leaves town. That's not why I'm here, okay? So, my parents owned a little grocery store in our small town. There was only one little mom and pop grocery store in our little town, and I was in the 7th grade. I'll never forget the day that the guy that ran the clothing store across the street dashed through the intersection to tell my dad that the reason that the field was being cleared on the north end of town was to make way for the construction of a new supermarket. I literally saw my dad's knees buckle just a little bit, because from that moment forward, our lives were about to change. You know, my fascination with customer service and how customers should be treated started in that little building right back there. That's the grocery store my mom and dad used to own when I was a kid. But the lessons I learned in that building can have an impact on your business.
The amazing thing that happened since then is that as the years went by, more people decided they wanted to do business with my dad than with the supermarket, because even though they could beat us on the price of Tide, they could not beat the incredible service, the incredible customer experience that we provide in that little grocery store. It taught me that no matter what we sell, no matter what we do, that nothing has to be a commodity. There is nothing on the planet that is required to become a commodity. If you haven't done everything that you can do to build your business, then your problem is not the recession, your problem is business development.
I consider myself to be an extraordinarily fortunate person. I've spoken on platforms in all 50 states and 17 countries. But one of the things that we do differently is we make a commitment to you. With every speech, I do a free webinar to answer questions or expand on my material. Maybe that's part of the reason we get phenomenal reviews from our clients and work with some of the greatest people you can imagine. Speaking's also afforded me the opportunity to meet some of the most interesting people on the planet, who in turn have booked me in some of the most amazing places you can imagine to speak. Perhaps you've seen me on NBC's Today Show, CNN, or Fox News Network talking about my views on business.
Good to know, good to know. All right, Scott McKain, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
He's an author and a professional speaker as well. No doubt about it. Also,
wait a minute, here's an important point. Mind share precedes market share, right? People aren't buying from Do It Best if they're not thinking about Do It Best. They're not coming to your store if they're not thinking about your store. So create mind share, the market share follows.
How do we get into this mess where everything today seems the same? In the research that I've done in terms of differentiation, what we've discovered is there are 3 basic destroyers of differentiation. And what we're going to do is take a moment and look at what these 3 destroyers are in terms of how we got to the point in this country and in marketing where everything seems the same, and then try to prescribe how we get out of this mess and stand out and move up even as competitors fail during a challenging economic time.
If you would please just turn back to your partner that you had before. Decide quickly between you and your partner which one is partner 1 and which one is partner A. Well, you say 1 and 2, but nobody wants to be number 2, okay? So it's 1 and A. Both of you put your right hand up if you would please. Turn to your partner so your right hand is touching their right hand. On the count of 3, if you are partner A, I would like for you to push. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Partner A, what did your partner just do? Push back! Where are the instructions? Did I say they were supposed to push back? You guys couldn't even wait till 3. I saw 1, here it comes, baby. Look out, I got you now, right? When you push people, what do? They push back. So if you want to get more sales, as convoluted, as counterintuitive as it sounds, it's not that you push, it's that you tell a story. And you get them to see the advantages. So now here is my fundamental question. If I can get that kind of service on a cab ride in Jacksonville, Florida, why shouldn't the customers of my businesses expect it? Why shouldn't the people that walk in the door of Express expect it? And if I'm not, or if you aren't providing that, what's our excuse? See, your clients do not want you to make it right. Your clients want you to get it right. We want to know that you have gone to the mat to make certain that everything involving processing, the elements of the transaction, are handled flawlessly, effectively, efficiently, perfectly.
Whether it's at your meeting or here at my home high school, the principles of learning remain the same. And that is when you can connect with both the head and the heart, now you have a chance to make a significant impact. And that connection is vitally important, whether it's in my speeches or the books that I've written, whether it's in collaboration with other experts or one of the 4 that I've written myself and have been translated into several different languages and are all global bestsellers. My latest book, Collapse of Distinction, reached the #1 spot on Amazon.com's list of business bestsellers. And the Miami Herald and several other distinguished publications named it as one of the top 10 business books of 2009. The focal point of the book are the 4 cornerstones of distinction, what you need to do to stand out and move up.
Change. Cornerstone number 1, clarity. The first thing you've got to do is get crystal clear about who you are, what you do, how you are unique, what makes you incredible. And part of the reason we put this first is simply this: you cannot differentiate what you can't define. If you can't define your practice, how in the world do you differentiate it? If you can't define your uniqueness, how in the world do you establish it in the marketplace? So, second is creativity. And it might be surprising, I'd say creativity is second, but in fact creativity must be second. Third of the 4 cornerstones is communication. But it's not what you might think. Communication is vitally important. But it leads to the 4th of the 4 cornerstones, and that's a client experience focus. The fact of the matter is, the folks that focus on the experience end up selling more. The goal is to create the ultimate client experience for every single client, every single prospect, every single time. That is what leads us to distinction.
But yet I've seen so many great marketers who create such compelling experiences for everybody else, and they don't take it home for themselves. And I don't want that to happen to anybody here. Don't miss the good stuff. Don't be so focused on creating these great experiences for everybody else that you don't take it home for yourself.
I grew up on a farm. I should have realized this. No matter the severity of the winter, a spring comes next. It doesn't mean you forget the winter. You always remember. You always continue to apply the lessons that you've learned in winter, but you cannot continue to live your life in winter when a spring has arrived. I wish I would have known in the darkest winter of my life that life is like that too. After every winter, spring always comes. I tell you that for this reason. Of all the things we've talked about today, I can only make you one promise, but it's good. And that is simply this: spring is coming.
Thank you for taking time to view the presentation. This is Scott McKain, and I'd appreciate the opportunity to work with you at your upcoming event.
Wasn't he absolutely amazing?
What a great group. What an awesome honor. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That was unbelievable.
What an unbelievable finish to our program. Scott did an unbelievable job of talking about action and the things that have got to be done and giving us a roadmap to head in the right direction to offer our clients better customer service.
I'm going to say the best sales speaker ever, Scott McKain. Thank you, Scott.
That was great. Fantastic.